Hello, we are back. So, gotta get this section quickly because this is honestly kind of a slow point in the very early game. And since we are insanely overleveled for this section, we will go do this guys pretty quickly. If you happen to have a Balthier or Vaughn as a monk, this segment gets even funnier.
Look.
Ah, the prison repository of rested relics and raiments.
So, our things are in here?
That's what I said.
God, I love Balthier. I would have skipped that moment, but I just wanted to hear that again because I really do miss. I missed him. He's great. Make sure to loot. You don't have to worry about equipping your gear again because it automatically does it for you. So make sure to pay attention to what accessories and items have for their stats. Also, as a side note, you should only never ever need 3 of an accessory at one time. But I'll explain what I mean by that when we clear out of here.
Yeah.
Notice that even with our cranked up stats, we are not quite one-shotting reliably, which is actually really interesting. Let's see, there it is. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, wasn't I? Oh yeah, 3 accessories. So basically, you want to keep only 3 around for your main party. Because if you develop them enough, you should never need to reserve members. Now, there are times where you can use reserve members for something like healing your party, but you don't need them in the active party all the time for that one. Here we are in the Barheim Passage. Fortunately, he is, like Malia, we cannot, change his gear around right now. Definitely upgrade her bow if you have one. Or rather, if you have someone who can equip bows and you can equip that, go ahead and upgrade it. Hmm. Always make sure to grab every single new spell that comes up, and as well as gambits. But basically, this is going to be one of your big gambit buying sprees because we did not do so back in Rabanastre before leaving. Now there's a specific gambit you're going to want to get, but I'm not sure it's in the shops or not. You should get every single gambit for completion's sake, as well as being able to customize. Okay, looks like it's not here. We may have to check Rabanastre as soon as we get back there. Or another gambit shop. But basically you're going to be looking for the foe undead gambit, because that means you can set it up to where if you run into undead enemies, you can insta kill them with Phoenix Downs. Like he says that, but it's right here. You just happen to have that. So this is a timed section. You have to recharge it every now and then. Because at certain points it'll start depleting on its own. See? So make sure you kill these mimic bugs as soon as you can. And they really will supercharge your remaining charge if you kill one. Now, it going down slowly means there's a mimic actively eating it somewhere. Okay, I don't see anything else. Make sure to always check around for loot boxes and such. Okay, there's another one. Looks like way up ahead. Now, something I forgot to talk about last session is that if you got 3 party members, you may want to consider going back into trial mode, because it's a lot easier when you have 3 people versus have only 1. In fact, you could even consider doing it when you had Penelo, as she would have access to stuff that can attack elemental weaknesses of the stronger enemies. So against flan enemies like that, you're gonna want to. Okay, we got blind. Well, it'll wear off because we hit a crystal. So against flan enemies, you want to use. Remember correctly, you want to use blunt damage and gunshots against them. Now guns ignore defense, so they always do decent damage. However, piercing and blade weapons tend to do reduced damage. Yeah, there we go. Hey, there. So just remember, if you have the 4x speed on, it can be a little janky there. Oh wait, do we hang on. Yep, we did forget to put our weapons on. Once we get, Basch back, we're gonna have to sell that excess mithril blade just because it's annoying. It keeps, interrupting our actual optimization. Oh, there it is. Fortunately, it only kicks in until. Hey, why are we're going on loops, aren't we? This play area can be confusing. Anyway, mithril blade only does that until you get weapons, get items, or their superior attack power. So it goes pretty much off only attack power. This is a weapon that can be equipped by anybody rather than only sword users. So anytime you hit a save crystal, regardless if it's orange or blue, it will fully heal you as well as restore status. So it's a great way if you're out in a dangerous area, but you can hit a crystal and just keep staying there until you can farm and get out. And there are some areas where that comes in very handy. And here you're gonna start seeing mimic bugs. Rather, see, they're going to be mimicking chests instead of just being out in the open. Now there's the path. I thought it was. So later in the game, you can come back to here, and you'll have access to, further areas in here. How did we get over here? Oh. Gotta find the bug. Okay, up ahead. Woof. Most of the time you get a full charge, but we were too slow. Around here is a nice little grind area for skeletons if you're looking to get the primer. Something I forgot to talk about with the primer is, about the Bastari, is if you kill a certain amount of monsters, you do get that. I'm pretty sure I did talk about bait, just in case. Now here is our, our next boss. It's been a while since we had one. Unfortunately, I forgot what her weakness is. I believe she's water weak, but we don't have anything that can do that. So just brute force her down. Boss down. Because we are so overloaded for this section, it didn't matter. But definitely avoid electric attacks against her because she should be able to absorb those.
To think Dalmascan air could taste so sweet.
Where are we?
The Estes Sand, by the look of it.
And by the way, we stumbled
Let's
upon
back
this
to
earlier
Rabanastre
when
before
we
we
were trying to
shrivel
find our way
By
to the
your leave,
village.
Captain.
Yes.
But I think that was
the
actually
hour
off
of my
screen
return is
because,
already
I kind of
overlate.
got lost.
The people may hate me, but that does not free me of my charge.
And unfortunately, you cannot skip this. Yep, see? Also, you can go to Nalbina Fortress very early. So let's actually head over there. It's got a gate crystal, so we can go straight to Rabanastre afterwards. Don't remember an Esper Sand one. Oh, right, that one. I forgot about it. And we can't go over there for a long time yet. Okay, we already got some. You definitely want to consider trying to make the Nalbina Fortress run early on, because there are some useful items to pick up. As even if you don't buy anything, make sure to get access to, the gate crystal. Oh wait, wrong way. There's the merchant. I don't know what I was thinking. So, most of the merchants will be selling the entry-level stuff. Let's see what the Gambit merchant has for us. Ah, there it is. So this is going to be a very useful, one to have. You also want to pick up faux flying, because mid to late game you start seeing more aerial enemies, and if you get the telekinesis technique, which is one you find, then your melee users can actually deal with them instead of having to use spells in ranged. Now you don't necessarily need to buy every single Gambit. It does help, but you can just pick up the ones you know you're going to be using. Oh, and this is one I was talking about. During this Gambit discussion, where you can have a Gambit set up to where your allies will automatically revive anybody who's got KO'd. So basically, auto Phoenix. Now, some of these are actually very, very useful to have. Now, it's just getting all the elemental, weak and vulnerable ones. Because some of the big, tougher bosses towards the end of the game are element weak against specific elements. For example, Matt, who I talked about before, is weak against dark. So it's worth it to pick up those because you might be able to find a setup that is very effective against them. Anyway, the undead one is one we want to slot it in now. Oops. We're also going to put in a Phoenix Downy one. So we had somebody go down. Now, the Gambits will go in the order of their their conditions, and order are the ones that determine which will go off. So, let's say we have nobody KO'd, then it's going to go to the next one. Basically, programming it. And so if nobody's dead, then they're not going to worry about Phoenix down. If there's no enemies, they're not going to attack. If there's and again, it's an order of priority. We need to get some. We're going to get him some extra Gambits real quick, because you do want to have at least 4 or 5 extra ones on top of the 3 you start with. Or the 2 you start with for free. And we want to get her a couple as well. We'll take the cheap options. What? Sorry, she doesn't have any access to spells yet. Wait. You shouldn't be able to do that, right? Well, there you go. Let's check. Okay, what? I don't remember her being able to. Let me check her license real quick, because she's archer. She shouldn't be able to do that. Unless the very basic spells were considered essentials. Okay. Yeah, I don't see black magic around here, do you? Probably not. That's unusual. I'm going to check into that, because I guess level 1 spells are universal. I know she's got enough to get that, so we'll go ahead and pick that up now while we're already over here. You know, I almost never use mages these days in 12, so I kind of forgot, that the ultra basic entries ones are available to all. I will check into that, because that is something I do not remember being a thing. That you had to be Black Mage in order to access it. And everybody leaves the party for now. When Basch returns, he will, become part of, the party for good. So this is kind of like if you played 14, this is almost exactly like the Etherite network inside the city. And and unlike the Etherite network, you don't have to go into tune to anything. It's automatic setup. Okay, so where are we going again? Let's see. Yep, we're going to. Actually, wait, if we had to go to Old Daylon, then we're here.
Well, look who we have.
And fortunately, it's built this area where you gotta go very close by. All right, so put Basch in. We're gonna talk about him now. Basch naturally is a great melee user, and he is a great candidate for knight. Now, for a secondary, there's a few ways you can go with him. You can also do whatever and clear the main game, but if you want to be more optimized and looking at being able to complete side quests and in-game hunts more easily, you need to put more thought into it. Generally speaking, you should look at for a boss, you should make him a knight. He's by far the best knight. With Ashe coming up right behind him as the second best. So I would suggest make him a knight. And then go, when you do that, if you did the trial mode cheese, then you're going to want to go straight to Karkata, because that will make him a one-shot machine for at least 60% of the game. It's going to be level 40 enemies that don't get one-shotted or don't die in less than 2 hits. So we're going to make him a knight. And by far, he's the best knight. He's bulky. He's got a lot of high hit point growth. He's got high physical damage. And for a second board, I would make him a Bushi. That allows him access to a lot of good stuff, including a combo that it makes him an undead slaying machine. And when that time comes, we'll get to that. There's not much point worrying about it right now. Make sure to pick up at least 2 or 3 2 gambits really. Cheap options, because you don't need more than 4 right now. Okay, so this way is a focus. So go ahead and grab it. And make sure when you get a new character to grab Golden Amulet. And also be on the lookout for where Karkata is. And the mirror character is actually up in the upper part of the map. So going up to rank 5 for shields, swords, and armor is a pretty safe bet. Hey, come here. Where is it? Oh, it's deep in down there. Okay, so we're gonna have to make a beeline here. I don't know if we have enough. We may have to go into a trial mode for a bit in order to gain the LP for it. But generally speaking, you want to have them beeline towards that. Then you can come back later and pick up stuff like battle lore or whatever you had to sacrifice. And if all else fails, just reset his board. Okay, we got enough. Make sure to go back and pick up the damage you got, because damage is life. So we got two key things here. Berserker bracers are actually something you do want to pick up, have access to early on, and you want to make sure you have, with diamond armor, because that there are some strong enemies later that you're gonna want to use those against. Well, it's golden amulet, which doubles your LP gain, even if you're not in the party. And along the way, we'll pick up these later on. All right, so Basch is taken care of. Now we gotta go up to Sandsea. You notice this area is not accessible anymore. It will be opened up later as the story progresses, as well as new hunts open up. Let's see. Now this should put us close to where we need to go. Nope. Well, actually, yeah, it did. Never mind. If you come back to the hunt board, you'll notice a new mark is available. And this is when we passed away on the way in. Now hunts are not time gated in the sense that you can leave them up forever, and you go back and complete it before the final dungeon if you want to. Now, so how did he get there before we did? So unless you want to do the Wraith hunt, there's not much else to do here. You can, go and pick a fight with the Wild Saurian or explore around the Western Sand and, Geyser Plains, but there's not much else to do. Alright, so here we are in Bhujerba. There we go. Get our bearings. Now notice we have a party of 4, including the guest. Now this is an opportunity to go and do trial mode, because if I remember correctly, guests will travel with you into it. Which is a interesting loophole. Oh. Yeah, so... Alright. Yeah, can I have more than 3, so keep them in reserve. Okay. You notice they start selling the light armor 3 in Mystic Armor 2. Actually, we'll just, do that. Now, if you didn't somehow get windbreakers from trial mode abuse, this would be your next best option: the bronze chest plates. We're just going to go ahead and sell all this excess gear we got. Not much reason to hold on to these little minor ones. Interesting. Aha! So, by selling some of these stuff, we got a natural arrow upgrade for a friend. And we got extra ammo for Othir. We probably should just sell these mithril blades. Well, we haven't finished getting our people geared up on that one. There we go. Since we have the Carcata, again, consider going into, trial mode and using it. Now, Berserker bracers on him is an extremely destructive combo. And I know I was going to talk about the reason why you wanted to get that, later. So basically, when you get the Excalibur, which is a holy, elemental weapon, as well as I want to say the white robe. There's an item that boosts holy damage, whether it's weapon or something else. And it's an armor. I believe it's the white robe in this game. I may be thinking of tactics, but I'm not sure it was also true here. Now, when you combine that with the Berserker bracers, it puts him into a crazy berserk state, and it will do extreme amounts of damage to undead enemies. There are some mid and late game areas where this is incredibly useful as a to quickly kill some strong undead. And early on, it also works. Sorry, you don't actually have access to the Excalibur that in early and mid game. But early game. But early game, you can use Carcata with Berserker bracers to do a lot of damage early on. So let's see. Oh, and we need to go get that crystal before we forget. Whenever you see a new crystal, attune to it, because you want to be able to use it when you know. So let's go back and get that crystal. Thanks to fast forwarded, this is a trifling thing. And a strong mist is is indicating you cannot return. You cannot leave this area until the story is resolved. You definitely want to consider going and checking magics because, again, shops update frequently. Now, see, Shell and Protect. These are both very good defensive spells. Make sure to check any new technique stores as well. Charge is an interesting one because you use it if you're really low on MP and you cannot, get to a save point, or you can't get, any potions going. It can work, but it's really RNG based. I would not use it unless I was desperate. And there's more gambits. And as a side note, you may have figured it out by now, but orange on a transition zone means you cannot access that area. Usually there's a story reason for it. May as well, just in case we ever decide, oh, hey, we want to use crossbows. Go ahead and save. You always want to keep at least a hard save around, because you never know when something might go wrong. And that being said, we are going to go mess around in trial mode for a little bit to bring up some LP and get some of these abilities back. So we'll see you soon. Alright, hello, we are back. We have done a little bit of trial screen. Basically, we got, advanced a bit, got some more LP, we rounded out our licenses for a while. So at this point, you're pretty good on licenses. Like a lot of this will cover up to the start of the late game. And really at this point you're stocking LP for your second board, which comes around, I want to say, the same time you're taking down Belias for the first time. And remember, save your quickenings until you've defeated Belias. Anyway, so this area up ahead has a very good farm point. And it's the one I was talking about last session. Wait, hold on. We just picked up something. I think that was a rare drop. Let me look. Yeah, it was kind of a rare drop for this spot because it is your entry katana. I don't remember being able to buy one at this point. But you notice it is an upgrade to what Vaughn has now. Alright, so notice there's a switch here. This is important later on for certain areas. For now, you cannot access this one. You have to go around. But there are some points in the Lhusu Mines in the exploration. Well, I shouldn't say exploration. I should say expansion. When you come back here after the story, that there's areas later on activated via hunts and such that you can expand your explorable area. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, if you have the bangle on, which gives you Libra, you can actually see where traps are at. Which becomes fairly important later on, because there are areas in the mid and late game that have just infested with traps. And you can actually get this without hitting the trap if you edge towards it very carefully. Now, if you go into this area, you will cause the story to go off. However, you can actually just walk back and forth between this spot. Rather, hold on. Around this spot, and just walk back and forth. Notice the chain is building up rapidly. Now, this is a very good farm spot this early on, and if you took the time to get the War Mage monograph like I suggested, you now have something that will increase your loot. But you may wonder, how do I respawn this without breaking the chain? Remember how I told you to get the undead one? You know, the undead gambit? Where is it? And if you switch it to party target, you will never need to worry about them not attacking the undead only. And if you want to be really cheeky... Oh, well, I didn't know if that double, but yeah, if you want to be really cheeky, you can actually buy a bunch of Phoenix Downs and just turbo farm that way. So, I will even just demonstrate this. Let's see. Where is it? Just remember, you need to have a lot of Phoenix Downs first. And the chain got ruined, but it doesn't matter. We're just here to demonstrate it. So Lamont will actually do that to you, but you can modify his gambits in this version. As noted, just be cheeky and spam Phoenix Downs on him. I wouldn't suggest it though, because at this point your auto attack should be much faster. Or you can just use Cure Magic if you have somebody that has a White Magic unlocked. So we're going to reset our gambits. And since, like I said, in this Zodiac Age, you can alter guest gambits, so it helps a lot. They come with a lot of strong ones, and you can tell, how they're meant to behave. Bear in mind that unlike previous versions, like the original PS2 version, as well as Zodiac job system, they will draw off your supplies, your item supplies. So yeah, be careful, because you may want to disable that or alter it a little. Basically, just run back here over and over. And unlike your other enemies in the game, you do not need to go 2 zones out to respawn them. They will automatically respawn once you come right back into the area. And they're a great location to get your 50 chain achievement, because they will respawn so quickly and fast that you do not have to worry about them ever. And notice the chest respawns every time too. So if you have trouble with potions, there you go. We're going to see you when we get done farming this a little bit. Alright, so we are done with farming for a bit. Now, generally speaking, you should only do the Lhusu Mines farm if you're low level. If you didn't do Dostia, then this is where you would take a moment to just farm like crazy, get some fragments for selling, as well as catch up on items and such. Now, something to note about items in this area is... Oh, well, by the way, a correction. So, if you go all the way up here to the upper right of the map just before the cavern, and then come back, to the bridge, then they respawn. Otherwise, once you clear that bridge out again, you have to go all the way back down to the, to the autumn span. Once you get that done, then you can go back and refresh the entire skeleton area. So that is a correction I wanted to point out. Now, if you go run around here, there are items to grab. Well, there was an item here normally, but it may not respawn. Sometimes they respawn, sometimes they don't. Now, if you don't get them before the boss, they will not, respawn. It's a weird glitch. But you can pick up a serpent rod, so an assassin dagger. See, some of these have respawned. See, assassin dagger. It's a nice little weapon for Vaughn, and it replaces the mithril blade. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Oh, and the iron helmet can randomly drop from the skeletons. So you just drop it there, and you're good to go on that. So free item if you have your cast strapped.
Hey, wait up!
Now this boss fight is actually optional, despite what Baltir says. If you're leveled up enough, you can actually win this fight. It also helps if you have the Karkata. But you're meant to run from this fight. Oh, and yeah, I forgot to fix our gambits. Sorry. If you have a dispel mode, it helps a lot here. If you decide to try to fight it without, using Karkata. And you get and you do get a special cutscene, this one, if you win the fight. Now make sure to go back in there, because there are some, this is an exploration area, and there are, you do want to know where this is at. So when you have access to, further expansion of Lhusu Mines, this is where you would go. As you can see, there is something behind there, as well as down below here. And if you go all the way over here, chest. Wow. I already getting that spell mode now, huh? And notice that Lamont has left the party as if he is still running from, Agamemnon. See? So even if you do, beat him, the game will still think you're running. Even if you get the cutscene and all that, at least Lamont would still think, they're still being, everybody's still chasing. And notice the bosses did not reset it. We got well over 206 just from farming. You can't just run it. Honestly, even if you're over leveled for the area, it might just be better to run. But then again, notice we got a new enemy here. At least I don't remember seeing that before. Then again, we were kind of coming through here crazy fast, huh? Now, I would skip this cutscene, but this is an upcoming boss we're looking at.
Cortege, Lord Lhasa.
And Penelo.
We caught her wandering out of the...
There, now we skip it. Now you have an idea what's going on, right? It's Judge Ghis. He's an upcoming boss.
Mark.
And this is a minigame. It's not skippable, unfortunately. So make sure to look for the, there's always a cartographer Moogle around most areas, especially open world locations, and you want to buy their maps. I did not see him when we were coming through here because I forgot about him, but he will help you out. You can also look at your map by clicking the arrow on the big map. As you can see, there is stuff here that we cannot access yet because of story reasons. Once we get access to more hunts and everything, you will be able to access more of these mines. And some deep inside the mines are some of the elite marks, as well as some of the best gear in the game. Especially gear that you need in order to take down super bosses. We're going to sell a lot of our junk gear. Now, if you are following my advice, you're only going to have one archer ever. So basically, it's going to be Fran. Now, your swords, you should keep an equal amount to the amount of people you're going to be making sword wielders. So that's going to be anybody who's got knight, or swords too. Basically, not anybody who's knight. Now, typically speaking, you're going to make Basch and Ashe knights. We'll go into Ashe and when we get control of her again. But it's safe to sell the mithril blades just because they're annoying and they interfere with legitimate equipment gains. In the sense of, if you've seen, whenever we try to optimize gear on Balthier, he keeps recommending the mithril blade. This is because the mithril blade does not require a license. Now, this is a weapon I recommend getting for Vaughn if you decide to make him a Shikari. It helps a little bit early on, and it doesn't take much to get. So, yeah, we're just gonna sell all this excess gear. Now this is an interesting item. It's used later in the mid late game farming to increase the XP of your the person you try to level. So you equip 2 of these and then let them go at it. Let them let your last guy get all the XP, because XP in XP in 12 is determined by kill, and it's split among all living party members. That's why it seemed like, we were getting 91 XP, but it wasn't actually leveling us up much, even with that many kills. That's why. That's also why, Dustia works so early, works as a leveling up spot all the way at the start of the game, because Vaughn's the only party member. And it's something that's very easy to do, as long as you do not die to dark first. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. And a full stack of bone fragments is almost 20,000. So if you're having trouble money early on, again, farm the skeletons. And once you've once you've bought the War Mage monograph, they effectively pays for itself with just a little bit of farming, especially on 4x speed.
Basch lives.
And this is one of the most memed moments of all 12. So in this little minigame, you want to avoid certain areas. See? It will reset your progress if you don't pay attention to which one.
Don't listen to Ondor's lies.
And the biggest gains you're going to get are from the city, City Parijana. So let's just call them tour guides. So from the tour guides, you're going to get the biggest boost.
I'm Captain Basch von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca.
Be careful around the police, because they will nuke you if you're too close to them. See? And that's what happened to us in the first zone.
Basch lives.
Fortunately, the detection range for this is very low, so you don't have to worry about hitting one of those by accident.
I'm Captain Basch von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca. Don't listen to Ondor's lies. I'm Captain Basch von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca. I'm Captain Basch von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca.
All right, now, okay. Also, we can see now we have new hunt available. Now, some of these you do want to consider doing along the way on top of the one that's forced as part of the story. So let me check that one. I'm not actually sure which ones we need to make a quick diversion to get. Let's see here. Yeah, you don't actually get anything decent from this. It's just rose corsage and balaclava. So that's just gear that's kind of outdated by what we have now. You do, however, need it in order to get more along the way. You do need to increase your rank, and there are some coming up that are actually really interesting. However, you can't actually access some of these. See. Oh, actually, yeah, there is one we could fight, but yeah, there is an upcoming one that's a little bit of a mini boss for the area. However, you need to be the Vanguard rank. But it's entirely optional. You don't need to do hunts, but if you want to fight the super bosses, you do need to have your rank up and be able to unlock the last hunts. So, it's up to you if you want to do hunts or not. Now here we are to rescue Ashe. As was Pinello. Now, honestly, I don't think it actually matters whether or not you trip the lasers or not. Just brute force them anyway. Make sure to pay attention to the map because the Dreadnought Leviathan is huge. And you will be going through a lot of this part over and over.
Fear not their numbers. Take down the leaders and the others will follow.
Funny thing is, it's actually true of trial mode. There's a trial mode that prizes this fight. And as far as I can tell, if you take out the leaders first, then it's automatic win. Yeah, I was surprised earlier when I was, doing quick, farming in trial mode with 3 people in there, and yeah, it ended quickly, even though there were still spawns on the screen. I may have just done something, and I just don't know what I did, but yeah. So you see there's a save crystal over here, as well as an urn. So urns will contain either a map of the area you're in, or a major key item. You don't want to come over here and get these guys out. Now notice that what they have here. They have pretty decent items for this point in the game. Good upgrades. And if you didn't get the Assassin's Dagger back in Lhusu Mines, you can get it here now. As well as the Serpent Rod for the same thing. And again, there are items here. If you did not get them, for some reason or another in the Lhusu Mines, you can pick them up here. Make sure to buy an equal amount to the characters in your party that can equip them. You should definitely consider this later. Sap is an incredibly annoying mechanic, and there are some late game enemies that use sap in combination with poison, and they're not obnoxious. You want to know why sap hurts, why it sucks so much in this game? If you ever played Dark Souls, it's exactly the same concept as the curse mechanic in Dark Souls 1. Yeah, that bullshit. Yep, it is bad. It is awful. So yes, you want to protect against sap. There are ways you can get remedies and such that insta cure the sap, but you'll still have to deal with the other stuff with it. And yeah, here is important. Yeah, you want to get raised as soon as possible, and you want to have someone who can use white magic. So if you make Basch a paladin with white magic as a secondary, you will have raised on a frontline warrior, and if you put it on Ashe, you'll have it on a second one. There are some periods where you're going to be needing to use Ashe for story reasons or just for leveling in period. And if you look around, you can't actually see her. She's actually in there. So it's unusual. Yeah, look, you cannot see Ashe even though she's in here. Like, look, there's nothing there. So isn't that weird? I don't know why they would do that, but they would have the others on the map. All right, so we can finally do Ashe's board. Now, notice she's got a lot to work with. And your LP total is going to be, your LP total, if you're doing heavy amounts of farming even after trial mode using, you're going to have a lot of LP. That's okay, because when you clear Belias, you will get access to your second board. That being said, let's talk about Ashe. Ashe is a little bit more flexible. She's an alright mage from what I remember, and she's alright in the other martial classes. But for the most part, for as far as I know, she's the best female knight. So she would do well having a knight, as well as either white mage or time battle mage, making her a support either way. Yeah, if you remember, time battle mage is mostly support magic. Unfortunately, there's no way to just have all licenses revealed so you can see what you're working with. But you'll notice that here is time magic. So stuff like reflect, disable, balance, vanish, gravity, haste. And notice that the time mages get access to heavy armor. And their weapon is, let's see, where is it? Yeah, right. Their weapons are crossbows, so they're ranged, but they have access to heavy armor and time magic, which is something to consider, right? And you'll notice the red mage here uses mystic armor instead. So it's really a question of what do you want her to do. And again, this is kind of a moot point considering you can reset the boards freely at this point versus original Zodiac Age release where you had to be careful what second board you went with. But I do like her as a knight with white mage as a secondary, or you can just make her I would say foe breaker maybe. Because debuffs in this game are strong. They're strong, but you have to go out of your way to find their stuff because their stuff cannot be bought. Rather, so you cannot buy the techniques that the foe breaker uses. You have to go and buy. You have to find them, and they're usually in mid or in-game areas, and only in specific spots too. So that's something to consider. You get access to axes and hammers, but you gotta think, what do you want to do with that? And honestly, you can beat Matt without using foe breaker. It speeds it up, of course. And I imagine that 45-minute strategy I talked about is a foe breaker one. But you have to put more effort into the foe breaker than you would other jobs. So we're going to go ahead and make her a knight for now. Because again, she is the second best knight after Basch. In mid and late game, you're going to want to consider having at least a secondary healer to whoever you put in your main party as a healer, because mid and late game bosses, they start hitting harder, and having someone in reserve that can heal up when you're running low on MP, that pays off big time. Anyway, let's go ahead and start leveling. You'll get her together. Now, unlike Basch, you don't need to rush towards Berserker Greaves. You can just, actually, you wouldn't want to get Kakarna because, again, we have a second one here. So if you have a second one, yes, rush it. Because she'll become very lethal with it. Make sure to pick up a couple gambit slots as well. You want at least 4 or 5 by the end of early game. And honestly, you don't need that many gambits unless you want to be. Well, I wouldn't say. I would say you wouldn't need a full gambit roster until maybe the end game when it actually starts mattering. Because you're gonna be you want to make a gambit list that fit most situations. Now, something I didn't talk about with licenses is you should try to unlock ones that will give you access to multiple ones at first, at once. So let me see. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so let's say we unlock this, right? But as we do that, now if you unlock here, you get access to 3. You can unlock 3 rather than just unlocking 2. If we went here instead, it gives you access. And if you're trying to do something like what we were doing earlier with Basch's license board, it allows you to get a quicker path towards a target license. So we just keep going. Now, something to know about the Ice brand is if you're around trial mode 18 or 19, level 18 or 19 there, you could try to get an Ice brand from one spawns. I actually believe it's on Mateus. It's a rare steel, so you have to be careful if you can get it. It's a powerful weapon to have early on, and I think it'll carry you all the way up to the Still Shrine. Make sure to pick up, all the Battle Lords you can, because again, he is one of the best knights. Also, something I didn't talk about with weapons and licenses is claymores. They are kind of a trap. In the original, they were kind of crappy for early on. And they're a late game weapon, plain and simple. And only a few great swords were actually good. I don't know if they rebalanced them in Zodiac Age because I don't use great swords. But the Tornasol was amazing. Go ahead and pick up his swiftness. Oh, and yeah, Excalibur is also one of the few great swords I've ever actually used, just because of how stupid it is when you use Basch and you run around anti-undead areas using Berserker bracers. Genji gear is only available specific ways, so again, some of these are just straight up late game items. And you do not need to worry about getting licenses for them for a very long time. And if you're going this deep, it's mostly for Karkata, as well as picking up the extra swiftness and battle lores. But this is only for this is for a night board, however. So up to around rank 6 or 7 is where you should stop for most of the game, for both weapons and armor. And as well as shields, because that's where most, that allows you access to a lot of them. Let's see. The blood sword is, remember correctly, that's a bizarre item. You can get it early, but it gets out of class pretty quickly. It's nice though because it has a spell. It has a damage vampirism on it, which means the damage you do is returned to you. That is a classic of the blood sword as a recurrent item. Anyway, let's get out of here. And you notice our hit points have skyrocketed, 1,300 just off licenses. And remember, some items, late in, some items can increase hit points. As not to mention, okay, so it's first, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's a minor increase, but it can make the difference. As as we saw, we had trouble with this. Rather, I explained, earlier with the issues of the Orikawa. I can't pronounce it. The amulet that gives you hit points. If you were trying to do Dustia cheese, you had to take it off and take off your armor as well. in order to make sure you could actually get yourself towards the triggered threshold. Now, if we put in Ashe over, say, something to note about 12 is Vaughn is not necessarily the party lead. Basically, the game is told through his the POV of Vaughn and Penelo, but it's actually Ashe and Balthire's story. It's a common misconception that can spark a lot of fighting. Is that people think Vaughn is the main character because he's the guy you control the cities. He's not. He's just the one that can get around without getting, spotted easily. Anyway, so we're gonna switch him out for a while. Now remember, a party member in reserve will always gain LP. They do not get XP, however. And XP at this point is pretty paltry. Now the reason why we're putting Ashe in is because he's got Carcata and we can just speed run pretty much. There we go. But yeah, the party, 14 is flexible. There are very, very few exceptions to the story where you're going to be forced not to use a flexible comp. And it's mostly because of story absences or whatever. And an important tip, again, save your quickenings. And as always, make sure to look around for treasure. And look at that, we just picked up a good one. Infuse is a technique, and we'll look at it in a moment. There, they keep respawning right on top of us. They just keep lining up to die. Now let's see. There it is. So basically, it spends all your MP and it changes your hit points, an ally's hit points to 10 times that amount. If you're in a good area where you can just restore MP like crazy, well, it presents interesting possibilities. For the most part, you probably don't need it. Where is it? There it is. There it is. So if you didn't get the system access key, we'd have to go all the way back and get it. Remember, this means we gotta get out of here. Oh boy, yep, this way. We can get down there anyway. Basically, you gotta haul ass all the way back over here. We took too long. So now we gotta get back up there. This section I would suggest not using the speed boost on. Just run. Okay, so I was wrong about the 4x speed, okay? Okay, so you need to disable Vossler. He will force fights. There. So you need to turn his off. He's ignoring. Yeah, so he's going to end up causing us to fight. Let's get that map off our screen. Wait. Okay, I could have sworn the sequence required turning this off. So yeah, I apparently got it wrong. Whatever. I guess just to be annoying, right? Ah, there's... Wow, okay. That's how long it's been. I forgot the sequence was not necessary. Alright, so we gotta get topside. There it is. Well, just ignore it then. Now Penelope's back and you can catch up on LP. At this point, the party is considered united, meaning they are no longer going to have issues with coming and going, and their levels in LP are now fixed in, so to speak. Ah, Scaife. The last game you were actually good in. Yeah, making fun of 14 Black Mage on that one. It was a shock going from this game, to that one. Realized the Scaife was horrible there. Alright, so now we're almost out of here. Let's turn off fast battle mode. You may want to consider stealing from him. Yeah, unfortunately we got Jack Squat. Let's check our gamuts as well. We may... Okay, Yeah. You can see the Carcata does a lot of damage even at this point in the game. With Berserk on, it will do at least twice as much. And Judge Ghis gets double tapped. Now, if you don't have this, you should consider being more defensive and having, a healer on standby, or having your gambits set up to show, not to show, but to put in, anti, buffs, and as well as I need water. For Ghis, if you don't have, Carcata and Trauma, cheesing, have a healer and be ready for a prolonged fight, because he hits pretty hard for this point in the game. And notice now we're back in Bhujerba and we can teleport again. Let's see. Now, if you want to go back and do, Rabanastre hunts, it might be worth it, considering you're going to be getting to the point where you start getting these decent hunts once you hit the vanguard and rear guard and others up. So it's worth considering, as I said. And we'll see you next time for more of this. All right, here we are. We are back now. So to continue story, we gotta go to Andor's estate. Here we are in the Western Sand. Now, if you managed to take a look at it around, there before, when you were back in Rabanastre, you'll notice you're in a way different spot. You can go back because, we have such high levels and everything. But it's up to you if you want to do that. You'll notice it connects to different areas, like Rabanastre as well as the Giza Plains. Well, Giza Plains, sorry. Make sure to tune to the crystal because that is a free way through. And you can easily go back to Rabanastre and approach from the other direction if you are so inclined. Now note these are still downgrades for your longsword. It's gonna be a downgrade for a long time if you try to get one from the merchants. Didn't we already? Oh, we didn't pick one up. Okay. And if you manage to get a flame staff or a serpent rod, those are upgrades compared to the wizard staff. Now, this here is a useful accessory in the sense that it disables an incredibly, a pair of incredibly annoying abilities late game. You're gonna want to get, some of those. And Argyle amulet's proved their worth later on as well. And once again, always make sure to check for new spells and techniques. We're going to shift them around a little bit. You'll see mostly the same stuff you've been that you're fighting at the start with Western Sand enemies this way. Now, if you go all the way up here to the Tyrant's Nest, first off, we need to get to the area first. From what I understand, this area also has a scripted sandstorm. I believe maybe only the first time. See? So this is because this is an elite mark area. Once you get that cleared, then you can move on. Alright, it's a lot quicker to just go back to Rabanastre from that point than it would have been to start walking all the way back over to the Iron Crystal. Ah, and we went the wrong one. For some reason I started on the east gate. Nope, south. Brain fart. Brain fart. Remember, your teleport stones are limited early on, so you need to be judicious on your use of them. Let me check and see where we get more of them, because it is a point where you can start buying them and not have to worry so much. Oh, you got you buy them in the original. Let's see. Oh, so you can get them from Sky Ferries once you've entered Mount Burr. Let me say so. Until you reach that point, you have to be careful about how much you use them. So the Sky Ferries are the airships. Airship taxis, pretty much. So this is the Yensa Sandsea. Now, at some point, depending on where you enter from, in the next area, you can actually get a special cutscene that's only there if you, enter it from a certain way. Now, some of these areas you cannot access until you're starting doing the hunts. And now you got 4 people again. You can't go consider trying to push through trial mode once more. And there's our first golden amulet. Put it on anybody, honestly. Yeah, I would suggest, holding off until you have 2 more. Because right now, you're going to be capped out on LP for the most part. You need your second board to really start making use of those golden amulets. Now, there's also a special enemy that you can fight, but it's actually really hard to get. Let me make sure there's a... Let's see. Okay, yep. It's called a Uratan Exile. It's a rare enemy and it's hard to find. It's also one of the few rare games not immune to Libra. Now let's see here. So it's hunted in the Yensa Sandsea. And you can find it on the second platform refinery, but you have to kill 100 Uratan Yensa, and you do not need to do it in a chain. That's an interesting one. I felt like originally, or rather, at one point in the current version of Zodiac Age, that it was possible to find him in the trial mode. Either way, the Uratan Yensa Exile is here, and it's hard to get. You have to kill 100 of them. See, it's the first platform. And that's where the second platform is over here. It is probably a better idea to try farming there. You have to kill 100 Uratans in that area. At least I would do it. Apparently, it's do it without exiting the Elgir Yensa ELC. Ooh, we got a elemental. All right, so elementals are badasses early on. So notice they have a shape of their level and their hit points. They start out with reflect and protect, and they're weak against their opposing element. I don't think we have. Do we have any ice stuff? They come out swinging with level 3 spells, and they're neutral by default. Yeah, pretty sure we got Dispel mode. I thought I saw one. Yep. Note how much damage they do. They are no joke. Do not mess with elementals until you're really tanked up. Oh, and her gambits off. Oh, we must have turned her gambits off, at one point. But either way, do not mess with elementals until you are strong. Even with our superpowered, early game state, they are still mean. So we're gonna swap her out. Put Fran in. Well, I know we still had that on. Yep. See. Oh, and if you have okay, if a party member is target, is a red highlighted, that means they can't be removed from the party. Sometimes that's because of your ally party member targeting them. Notice that Voss has is no longer red because we removed Fran from the party. This can be useful if you're trying to quickly swap somebody in and out for healing or whatever. So if you're going to go elemental hunting, make sure to have the gear resistant to their element. So we had fire resistance, so we may have been able to stand a chance. Yeah, he can catch up. So as you can tell, it's worth it to consider some anti-sleep, gambits, stuff like alarm clocks, or if you somehow have it, Isuna. Now this should actually be the spot where you get a special cutscene with the name, Uratan Yensa. Now notice he's got here. And this is a little side stuff you can do on the way to pick up a little thing and just want to see more flavor about the Uratan Yensa. Now, if I remember correctly, the fight is around near the end of the zone. You have to come in from the north in order to do it. In order to get that cutscene. Oh, there's the fight. So this is the Uratan Eater. There's the spell mode. Just smack him up with it. He's got pretty low hit points and he's weak against air, so. chances are pretty good. If you did a trial mode, you got a bunch of arrow emotes to spare, as well as the spell itself. Notice how much damage it does. Oh, went the wrong way, I think. No? Alright. So let me double check the Uratan Eater. We should be able to see near the end of the zone. We may need to go back. See here. Yeah, it doesn't say. It just says parts of Sidequest. So, let's go back real quick and double check that area. Because again, they may have actually been in that area. Okay, do we get... I can't see... Yeah, we got it. Okay, we got the loot. Alright, just haul ass. Again, 4 XP is useful for this sort of thing. You know, I think we just got a Vega of a rare drop. Okay, yes, ahead should be the right area. Oh, and we went the wrong way. Naturally, huh? This should be the right area. At least I thought it was. Ah. I think I know where we're at. So up ahead is the next boss, but we had to go all the way back to the start of the area. Let's see. We're just getting upgrades like crazy from Altier and Fran. Typically speaking, when it's chopped, you'll see your newest upgrades as well as the previous ones. You know, whenever you get to merchants like this out in the wild, rather new ones. So we got a little bit of a pack here. Now, usually the bazaar deals are supposed to be, sorry, grab that. Anyway, usually the bazaar is a bit of a deal. So we got, 10, buy 10 high potions normally costs 1,800. That pack gave us, 10 for less than that. So usually the bazaars are a deal, not a ripoff. Okay, so we're gonna run all the way back over to the start of the area. Because unfortunately, the cutscene was supposed to be. I thought the cutscene was back near the end, but it's gonna be near the start. Let me double check that to be safe. Didn't say here. Quick Google. Okay, so you had to go back to that Moogle that we saw at the start. Yep, thought so. Go back to the Moogle and it'll direct you further. Oh, it's gonna be a bit of a hike. So we're just gonna run from these combats. Should pay attention to your bearings on the map. So we're gonna go toward north. 4x speed makes it so much easier to backtrack. So you go to the Ogre Yensa Sandsea. Real quick, you may actually be down north near the bottom of the map. Let me see. See. See here. Yep. Okay, so we had to go east one screen, then begin climbing the structure. So yeah. This is the cutscene you get. See? Now you see the little Uratan Yensa. Man, notice they just got those huge fish there just chilling. Notice they just tolerate the Moogle. Look at that, just straight up, disintegrates them. Oh no, Kirati over there. Convenient, isn't it? So this is an upcoming boss, Garuda, and this is a side quest that you can do to help weaken that boss. Especially useful if you don't have much in a way of ranged combat. So if you don't have much for magic or stuff like a machinist or an archer. Can make the upcoming combat much easier to deal with. So this is something you can do if you're trying to check the map constantly. Is just bring it up with using the left stick. Nice little transparent thing. Well, semi-transparent anyway. Hey, where is? There it is. Look at the the map on the left, and then what? Yeah, it can be real confusing if you're looking at the wrong one. And I suggest using it if you're new to the game. But we don't really need to because, yeah. This is not a part that should be worried about him, Garuda. Plus you can exit out. And because of the way autosave works in Zodiac Age, you're not stuck here. And this is one of the new songs. We're just going to switch it out, because, yeah. This is what I was about to talk about. One of the few accounts got changed from there. Wait, hold on. I never did understand what the difference was. This might actually be the remastered one, and it would force it over to reorchestrated. I'm not sure, it's been so long that I can't really remember. Anyway, use the berry. If you took the time to do that. And it does solid damage. So if you're, if you need to use it in an emergency, that's what you do. Now notice being a flying enemy. Hang on. Yes, okay, so you see the flying icon? This means the enemy is a flying enemy, so you need to use either telekinesis if you're melee, or use a ranged weapon or magic. As you can see, Vossler has telekinesis, and you won't share it. So switch out, Vaughn for Fran and Pinot in our build. Once Basch is able to be, free, you can move him out. Oh, let me check our... We never updated... Yep, we never updated our games. Okay, so... You can do this real quickly, at least. Shouldn't matter the elemental, spell you use. Yeah, see, he takes damage from it, despite being, Garuda being associated with wind. And notice there's a gate crystal up ahead, so go ahead and reset your party to your preferred team comp. Remember, at some point you're going to want to get the level 50, Sky Hunter Pyre as well as achievements. So keep that in mind when you start hitting the areas that have good XP gain. And again, be judicious with your teleport crystals until you've got access to the merchants that have them. Alright, so we are back. Now we're going deep inside. Now, there are a couple of optional bosses in this area, as well as the main area boss of Belias. Also, take note of these teleport crystals. They come into play later in the story. Oh, there we go. So first you can go down here. Now this is normally a boss that you had to come back later to fight. However, we are leveled up enough and we are geared up enough that we can fight him.
Fight or run? We better decide fast.
And if you fight him, there's a reward. Make sure to steal. Sometimes you get decent loot. Generally speaking, if you want to take them down, you need to have a lot of heavy hitters. And we can put Ashe back in. Oh, notice you can do X-Zone, which is nasty. So it's something that returns from Final Fantasy VI and removes a party member from the battle. Now, there's another one of those Demonwalls in here, but we'll see them for just a little bit longer. This is the reward. Well, not quite. Okay, so I was a little bit wrong there. You do get a reward for taking down the other one. So in order to get a party member back, you need to go back out. If I remember correctly, Demonwalls are the only ones that have X-Zone. So it's a very rare status effect. But in order to get them back, you go back out to here, get the crystal, and the party member is back. Alright, so up ahead, we're going to continue on. And there's another one.
Comes. We must be quick. Together we can bring it down.
Take note of where the wall is versus, let's see. Hold on, no, we can. Okay, so we paused the action. Yeah, so note where the party is on the meter, where the wall is. This is one remember you have to fight this one. The other one is optional. And note how much faster this one goes down. So this is an intended fight, especially since you start so much, since you start at the end, and you can run up and have enough time to fight. Let's see here. Yep. We're going to continue on. And here's our urn for the area. We're going to go back and check something real quick. Yeah, it's either after the events here or after both Demonwalls died that device can be interacted with. Ah, so it's after both die. Now notice we have these, pathways up. These lead to extra treasure. Notice we're around an area that's not mapped. Get escape mode. Again, this is the last game that was not a trope item in ability in rather. And going in on the other door, this takes us to the other side. Remember correctly, there was supposed to be another item. We may have missed an item, but there's more than just escape smoke down there. Seems not. Now you're gonna get back on the main path. I sworn there was a one-handed sword down there, but maybe I'm thinking somewhere else in the area. Oh, wait. Actually, let me double check this real quick. Yeah, with 4 XP, it's very easy to check areas out. Okay, yes, now I remember. So this area is the other side. And it should take us to the area with the other loot, so... But again, we can just use it to check it out. Yeah, the enemies are the same either way, so it's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, okay. So this is, you know, me definitely remembering things wrong. Either way, you want to get out of here quick. And you know, if you want some quick loot, this is something easy to loop in. And honestly, I would just ignore most of the loot drops around here because you're not going. It's not going to be until the mid and late game that you're going to start seeing the really good drops. So both paths will lead you to the same spot, as you can easily see from this. And now to completely made sure that there's nothing there. I feel like I'm missing something, but yeah, you know, it happens. Anyway, we're going to continue on in the main area. And it can keep track via the map. If you can pull up the left stick one, you can see a little bit better for just a few minutes. Or a few moments, rather. Note where the map will take you. You want to get to the center of each of these rooms in order to advance. Now you can't just take a long loop around. In most of the cases, you probably are going to have to. You should probably set up the gambit to handle poison issues. You don't have a specific poison one, unfortunately. This might actually work though, so let's I'm gonna set up. Assume I understood it right from back in the day. It should automatically use antidotes. Oop. There we go. And we should handle that. Change that one around. Instead of potion, make it high potion. Okay, so there we go. You don't necessarily need to have status, but it will use it on any ally that will benefit from it. Just notice she is not, chain firing the antidotes. She only used it because we have one person with that weak, poison status. Now here is an interesting. Ooh. Clear that out. So if I remember correctly, this is actually a one-time only thing. You had to pick the right chest or they all disappear. But it's been so long and I usually ignore these, I think. So let's see here. I'm going to check some info about that. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button. So unfortunately, I cannot find any quick info about this. We're just going to guess. Oh. Use all of them. Never mind. I could have sworn there was a section where you had to pick the right one or bad things were going to happen. Okay, we're almost to the center of the room. So this is a warp and we need to activate it. Should be able to activate it through here. I know there's a room around here that has what we need to do, but we may have actually passed it. Now, unfortunately, everything respawns very quickly, so it's kind of hard to tell sometimes what's going on. Despite being one single zone in this area, a lot of this behaves like you're respawning by doing a two-zone refresh. There should be one the left side one's in. The Tomb of Raithwall is kind of one of those annoying areas. Just because it's a huge maze. Well, let me check, because this is going to bother me, because I can't remember exactly the spot, but everything else is easy to do in this area. Let's see here. Okay, it might actually be in the upper right where we were supposed to go. It's so long since I had to do this, I've actually legit forgotten. So it's supposed to be a switch around one of these walls, but it may not be the right spot. Unfortunately, pop up, and since these things respawn so much, it's hard to keep track of things. Let me check again. Oh, this way. There's a secret passageway around here we need to find. Of course, these guys do keep responding, like I said, so. Don't worry, this is like the only slow part of learning this. This is like area that's always bothered me because I've always had trouble with it. Okay, so I think we actually need to go to the other one first, so let's do that instead. Raithwall is always a hassle, even for long-time players, just because it's long, it's annoying, and unfortunately we gotta do this a similar kind of mess later with the Still Shrine. At least the Still Shrine is a little bit, better to deal with. Let's check the map. We may actually need to go south further, then it would have unlocked the other room. Make sure to explore around. And keep an eye on the map as you go. Up, see, there we go. Somehow I missed this when we first went through. That's what you need to do, lower it. You can take it back to the center for quicker transport. Yeah, oops, sorry, wrong way. Back to here. First, you can ignore all the spawns we can. We're gonna go back here and finish this out. Yeah, don't make that mistake I did. Make sure to rotate your camera, because yeah. Again, it's been so long since I played this, I totally forgot. But there's other stuff I do remember. So don't worry about the loot, you know. There's gonna be better opportunities for farming later. You don't have to go back in there and get every single item. See, there it is. Now we can get down there. It shouldn't matter which one you go from at this point. Okay, yep, we are in the right area. It'll show on the mini map, but it won't show on your main map. Notice the area is not exactly hazy. So this is something that, you know, first off, let's check the area for treasure chests. There's at least one. It's odd. Oh, it might be on the lower level. There's usually at least one or two chests around here. See, there it is. And blood sword. So if you don't find one some other way, like through the bazaar or a lucky steal in trial mode, this is where you can get a blood sword. Okay, let's down here, didn't turn it off. Check it out, Belias is just hanging out here waiting. And yes, this is the same Belias that was reused in the Ivalice raids. Okay, now I know which music track they're using. The OST is the original one. So you can't steal off him in America. You get a high arcana or something very valuable off him. Okay, never mind. It's ether. Now this Belias is the same one as in the trial mode, so you know if you can kill him quickly here, you should be able to kill him quickly in trial mode. But if you're having trouble, use aqua attacks because as a fire esper, he is weak against aqua. Area Aquara. And you know, since he's an elemental esper, equip elemental resistance or absorption if you can. Notice he has put the oil status on us. Oil increases our, increases the damage we take from fire. And it doesn't, if I remember correctly, it doesn't actually show it.
In vain glory.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure it does. Sorry, if I remember correctly, it does show it here, but the Esper glyphs here are actually reused as Ascian glyphs in 14.
Shout.
Let's see. Do we have? Yes, we have. Okay. This is something important to know. And here we go. Here is the big secret of. Yeah. So this is the big secret of license board that I talked about in the previous VOD. What this means is when you clear Belias and you get access to your second board by purchasing the license. Also, be careful who you give Esper to. As it said, you can only give it to one per person, and unless you reset, it's irrevocable. Oh, wait, did it actually give it to us already? Oh, we didn't. We don't have anything aligned next to it. Okay, I mistook what it was saying. So go ahead and get your second board unlocked. Well, get it right next to it. Okay, so night is right there. Cool. That means everybody should already have. Yep, everybody here is already ready to unlock. So here is the big secret. Now, basically, the big secret is. Your licenses carry over between boards, as well as stuff like Quickenings and Espers. They can be used to reach hard-to-reach locations that are not part of the board normally. Like, look at this. Chikari with Bushi gets access to another battle lore. But, let's see. Now if you look at here. You would have to spin LP to reach over here, because it's not you don't have that one up normally. Now what this means is you can leapfrog by taking certain quickenings or taking certain espers to reach hard to unlock areas. See, if you take your Quickening here, you get access to Ninja Swords on Machinist. Or, because, rather, if you take it there... Sorry, I'm mixing it up. Look at Machinist, but this is, So, look at this. This means if you decide to go Shikari on him, and if you try to do Shikari first, you would not have access to this, right? But since we have Machinists and level 5 guns, we can access this area. This is true of any ability that should show up on another board. Like, look at this. We got Stamp, so if he was Foebreaker and transferred over to Machinist, you would have access to Stamp from that. And later, Espers will unlock different ones. And again, if you have white, since we're gonna make him a white mage, we'll get access to protect, guys, Shell guy eventually. Let's see, white magic. Where is it? And I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue tied because I need something to drink. Been talking for straight like that, so let's see. Where is the white magic? Need to see the first one. We can follow the chain. Ah, here it is. See, there it is. That's level 12 white magic. If you just go all the way down here, and then let's look at here. Now let's find a board that has it. See, Carcata. Hey, if you do Knight, then you have access to this. And since we have, level 8 hit point increase, we can go straight to unlocking Katana from there. This allows extreme depth of customization. Like 12 has insane customization power, but you need to be aware of this. So again, look at this. So he is Shikari. We're gonna take a look at Red Battle Mage. Now notice we have accessories and such. And accessories 13. Now this puts us square in the middle here, and close to unlock, as well as more accessories. And if we got the Quickening here, we would get access to white magic. And that, once the Quickening gets consumed, it goes into its next one. So this means we would have access right away, because of our level 6 hit point increase. We would have access to the next level Quickening in that spot. And and if you wait, a long time to get your Quickenings, once you start collecting Espers, then you'll have more access to stuff. Of course, you can just collect, reset, and then collect again. Once you collect more, you keep till you have all 13 Espers. Yeah, let me correct. Wait, was there 13? Yeah, there's one for each. Yeah, there's one. Then you got Ultima and Zodiac. Yeah, whatever. But again, look. Make sure to compare the boards. And this is how you're meant to acquire stuff like this out in the field. See, there are black magic ones. Normally, you can just cross-class the black mage. However, there will be an Esper or so that unlocks each one. So let me pull up that list so I can be sure, because there are some that will, it's all about strategy. But again, this is like I've said many times now, this is a moot point because you can reset the board freely instead of just once per save. Let's see here. There is a list I saw a while back that explained which ones, which Espers unlocked which. Oh, and okay. So according to the wiki, there's you can use Espers to unlock abilities behind other licenses. So for example, 88 jobs that get 310 hit point augment can do Great Swords 2 for White Mage without having to get Chaos. And Chaos is behind an incredibly annoying and long side quest. And Espers can bypass Espers as well. And in another example, it talks about, it says if you get Exodus for a Red Battle Mage, you can unlock Heavy Armor 8 8 through 10 for itself, but also 10, 11, and 12 for Archer, without needing another Esper. So this is something to consider. Again, there's a lot of strategy, and since the licenses carry over, you have to be able to figure out, oh, well, what if I get this instead of this? That's the entire point. Let's see here. Damn, I know it's... Okay, so it does list it, but it doesn't say exactly what... It lists the coordinates, and yeah, that's a pain in the ass. So I can't really tell the coordinates. Ugh, wish they didn't do that. That makes it a little bit harder, and coordinates are, well... Let me see if I can find something else. Okay, here we go. This is a better list. So just a moment, please. All right, so in order, this is not necessarily acquisition order, it's just alphabetical. Well, actually, no, it actually might be going by this, but it just listed in a different way. Anyway, so Espers, the first one, Adramelech, the Ralph, who reappears in Bhujerba. Now, he is an optional Esper. He unlocks in order, White Mage, the Soul Eater technique, and Battle Lore. Ulan, Battle Lore, Time Battle Mage, Cura, and Raise Magic. Bullbreaker gets Battle Lore. Black Mage gets Fumarole, and Tombless Equipable. Those are incendiaries, so grenade throwers. Bushi gets Soul Eater. Chikari gets Shades of Black. So you may notice they do not unlock everything on every single board. If they did, they'd be absurd. So next is Solera, the Death Seraph. This is an optional Esper. You have to, so let's see. Okay, here it is. License board unlocks. Monk, Traveler Technique. Time Battle Mage, Ether Lord 3. Foe Breaker, Traveler Technique. Black Mage, Steel Technique, and Poach Technique. Bushi gets Blood Sword and Karkata equipable, which can be, fairly interesting. Chikari gets plus 435 hit points. All right. Oh god, here's one I always have trouble pronouncing because it's a Irish word. It's an Irish name, and I just can't pronounce. I can't speak Irish too well. So it's Truchelane, the Impure, also known as Quickening from original Tactics, translation, and he also reappears in Bhujerba. All right, so he unlocks White Mage, gets Libra, Ulan gets Wither, Machinist gets Magic Lord, Red Battle Mage gets Faraga, Dunaga, Blizzaga, and Sleepga. Knight gets Battle Lore. Foebreaker gets Shades of Black. Bushi gets Stamp Technique, but this is also one unlocked by Ultima. Chikari gets Protect Ga and Shell Ga. So this is that's an interesting one to go with because it gives Protect Ga on Chikari, who normally has issues staying alive because hey, you're a melee fighter. Mateus the Corrupt. This is one it is a story Esper. Mateus unlocks Magic Lore for 2 Magic Lores for Ulan. Faraga is Suna Cleanse and Regen for Knight. Battle Mage gets a plus 230 hit point augment. Black Mage gets Caldera and Volcano equipable. Those again are incendiaries. Chikari gets Guild Toss. Now this is honestly a very interesting one because honestly I would suggest giving it to your Knight if you decide to get a Knight, just because those are powerful White Mage abilities. And if you don't decide, I don't want to make them a White Mage, as your second board, hey, there you go. You get 3 clean, key abilities, but you don't have raise. You have to find another way to get raise magics. Alright, Exodus. This is an optional Esper. What he unlocks is Battle Lore, Oil. White Mage gets Battle Lore, Machinist gets Oil and Decoy Magic. Red Belt Mage gets Platinum Helm, Giant Helm, Dragon Helm, Platinum Armor, Carabiner Mail, and Dragon Mail equipable. Knight gets plus 350 hit points. Monk gets Soul Eater. Time Battle Mage gets Battle Lore. Foebreaker gets 4 Magic Lores. But this is also unlocked by Zeromus. Black Mage gets Platinum Helm and Platinum Armor. Shikari gets Stamp Tech. And Bushi gets plus 500 hit points. This is a tough one because there's a lot of good options here, but you should be picking based on what your customization currently is. Alright, Zeromus, the Condemner. Optional boss. Oh, and by the way, Mateus is called to Corrupt, so anyway. Zeromus, the Condemner. He unlocks for White Mage. He will give you 270 hit points. Machinist gets Makara. I believe that's an incendiary. Red Belt Mage gets Channeling, which reduces your spellcast time. Well, no, actually, I think that's the magic reduction one. The one that reduces the MP cost. Monk gets Sight Unseen technique. Time Battle Mage gets Addle and Shear, which can be very interesting if you're intent on doing a dedicated buff and debuffer. Foebreaker gets Magic Lore X4, which is again, unlocked by Exodus. Black Mage gets Giant Helm and Carabiner Mail. Bushi gets Magic Lore, 2 Magic Lores. Chaos Walker of the Wheel, optional Esper. He unlocks for White Mage. He unlocks Defender and Save the Queen equipable. Those are great swords and a plus 310 hit point node. Ulan gets Aeroga, Babayo, Blind Ga, Silence Ga for magic. Gigas gets a plus 350 hit point node. Red Battle Mage gets Ultimate Blade equipable. Knight gets Excalibur, Revive, and a plus 390 hit point node. This is something that can be unlocked by Zodiac or a Quickening node. Monk gets Sunaga, Protecga, Shell God Holding Magic. Time Battle Mage gets plus 270 hit points. Archer gets Magic Lore. Bushi gets Brawler. So that's an interesting thing there because if you have a Black Mage, you can give them Chaos, and they get they can end up being some kind of see which mage character am I thinking of? I want to say Lulu or Yuna because of the way Spear Grid worked. Yeah, you can make them some kind of crazy Yuna Lulu hybrid this way as a meme. All right, Shimhazai the Whisperer. And she is a part of the story, and she also reappears in Boja. Oh, and let's see, who else? Yeah, okay. Mateus reappears in the Evil East raid, so I forgot to mention that, sorry. Anyway, Shimhazai unlocks 230 hit points for White Mage, Caldera Volcano for Machinist, Cleanse and Asuna for Red Battle Mage, Potion Lore, level 2 for Knight, Potion Lore 3 for Monk. Archer gets Dragon Helm, Major Power Shizak, Grand Helm, Dragon Mail, Maximilian, Grand Armor. Black Mage gets Steel Mask and Mirror Mail. Bushi gets Shield Block. Shikari gets Spica, Antares, Arcturus, and Fomahalt. So that could be interesting if you want to make a gun-based character out of Shikari, because those are a lot of guns. And, as we've seen, the Spica gets gained very early, but Shimhazai is around mid-game. So it's something to think about. Ultima, who reappears in the Evil East raids, but she uses a different version of herself that's based more on her it's based more on her Final Fantasy Tactics form. Not quite original, so to speak. Anyway, she's an optional Esper, and he unlocks a wide variety here, actually. So Ulan gets Exposed, Machinist gets Magic Lore 3, 3 Magic Lores. This is also unlockable by a Quickening node. Red Battle Mage gets Claymore, Defender, Save the Queen. Knight gets Telekinesis, and Battle Lore. Monk gets Swiftness, 2 Swiftness nodes. Time Battle Mage gets Diamond Sword, Runeblade, Deathbringer, Stoneblade. Foebreaker gets Swiftness. Archer gets Infused, 1000 Needles. But this is also unlocked by Zodiac. Black Mage gets Telekinesis. Bushi gets Stamp Attack, which is also unlocked by Chuchulain. Shikari gets 2 Phoenix Lores. See here. Again, finally, Zodiac. Zodiac reappears in the main story of Final Fantasy XIV. However, he is a vastly different version of the Zodiac that you see here. The Zodiac in this game is based more on the original one we saw in Final Fantasy Tactics. So, yeah, the Zodiac of the MSQ is a different one. It has the same name, and it's a darkness-themed entity, but it's not the same as the one here. So anyway, Zodiac is an optional one. Now, he unlocks a bit of a variety, too. White Mage, he unlocks Claymore. Machinist, he unlocks hit points, plus 390 HP node. Red Battle Mage gets Ragnarok. Knight gets Excalibur, Revive, 398 hit points, which is also unlockable by Chaos or a Quickening node. Monk gets Renew Magic, which is extremely powerful magic, by the way. Time Battle Mage gets Durando, and Simha. I believe those are both swords, if I remember right. Durando is usually named with sword. Archer gets Infused, and 1,000 Needles, which is unlocked by Ultima as well. Bushi gets Giant's Helm, Dragon Helm, Mage Power, Shizak, Carabiner Mail, Dragon Mail, and Maximilian. These are in-game armors. So, and also we have Hashmal. Oh, sorry, there are some more to get. Hashmal, Bringer Order. He reappears in the Evil East raids. Let's see. Okay, he unlocks Ulan. For Ulan, Ulan gets Bone Crusher Technique. Red Battle Mage gets Steel. Knight gets Karaja, Bravery, Faith, Confused, which is something to take note of. Monk gets Cura and Raise. Time Battle Mage gets Channeling. Foebreaker gets Swiftness. Black Mage gets Makara. I believe that's an Incendiary. And Shikari gets Bone Crusher. And finally, we have Famfrit, the Darkening Cloud, who reappears in the Zadnorth section of the Bhujerba, storyline as one of the Fate bosses there. Famfrit is a story Esper, so you will get him as part of the story. Same with a Hashmal. So Famfrit, he unlocks for White Mage. He unlocks Orichalcum Dirk, Platinum Dagger, and Numerology Technique. Ulan gets level 3 Potion Lore. Machinist gets Hastegar, Slowgar, Vanishgar, Reflectgar, Warp, and Gravigar. Red Battle Mage gets 2 Battle Lores. Monk gets Arise and Dispelgar. Time Battle Mage gets Battle Lore. Foebreaker gets Magic Lore. Archer gets a plus 2 hit point nodes, one 390 and the other 435. Black Mage gets 3 hit point nodes, one 190, one 230, and one is 310. That's something to consider. Your Machinist, if you look at that, the Machinist is one of the best ones. Machinist usually gets some of the better options. For when you get Frankfurt, I would just say give that to Machinist, because White Mage normally doesn't get access to those unless you specialize in the Time Battle Mage. So that being said, we're going to set up to what I prefer. Oh, wait. Oh, we're in view mode. Okay. So again, we can reset this later, and I might do it depending on how I feel. But generally speaking, this is the combo you'll see here is one that should take you to the end of the game with no problems, as long as you maintain your levels and keep up on, your license boards and your gear. Wait, why did we go out here? Okay, so you can see the board toggle in the upper left. And remember, stuff that, since we have the max hit points, we don't need to waste a quickening spot on that. Now let's see. Shikari might have that node, I'm not sure. So if you intend to make a Yasmat killer build, you want to use your quickening here. Gain access to this. And this is why you want to hold off on until you know what your second job's going to be. Plus, hold off until you get this, because the quickening license can only be used by certain characters. Or rather, as you said, as it shows you, you take that spot up, and no other character can go to that spot, even if they're on the same board. Again, it's the quickening spot. On the other hand, as we've seen, you can't transfer these around. And now we got this because since we had the level 1 quickening, any other ones will show up. Any other ones that were behind a node, they now show up on that board, in that spot. And in theory, you can have maximum quickenings before leaving Rabanastre, but again, that would cause you severe problems if you want to take strategize which ones you want to mess around with. So we're gonna go ahead and unlock our second board. We're gonna make him a white mage. Machinist white mage is a very powerful combo for Balthier. He doesn't have as high a magic status though. It's the female characters, which does make him inferior on that. But he's got higher physical attacking overall, and plus guns ignore defense. And in some cases, the guns will actually straight up outperform other weapon types. And by the way, as part of the story, you will need to take a Belias in order to progress in the story. I would suggest putting it on Ashe for story reasons. Now, you don't need to worry much about rods if you're doing white mage as a secondary job, because your main job will be the one that's more of a concern. You should still try to go over here and pick up stuff that will help you, do your white mage secondary better. Definitely pick up magic lore as always. And battle lore gets picked up here too, so that it helps your main job because guns. And unfortunately, we ran out of license, but it's okay. Alright, so Fran, well, I said to start basically, she's good as a black mage as a secondary. Honestly, if you're not planning on using her much, you can just do whatever. But you may want to consider Foebreaker just because, debuffer. But that's really for more advanced stuff late game. You can get through the game easily, and you can even fight Yasmat without needing to, because there's other ways to do a deal with Yasmat, which is mostly targeting his dark weakness. So honestly, just pick whatever, Let's see. As always, check the board before you decide. Again, you don't have to worry too much in the current state of Zodiac Age just because infinite resets there. We're just gonna make a black mage because again, I'm feeling lazy and uncreative. And we'll just hold off on it. I may do something off screen because it takes so much time to, go through that. Now for Basch, we're gonna find his license board. We're gonna make him a Bushi. This does mean we have 2 Bushis. However, they serve different, method, different ends. Hey, clicking the wrong button. We go double Bushi with him because there's a light armor, mystic armor rather, that gives him. I talked about this in a previous VOD, how he can become a crazy undead slayer using Berserk and Excalibur. Remember, magic lore. Okay, so katanas operate both physical attack as well as magic, potency. So you're gonna want to consider, changing, his gear around to be something that supports that. And notice, this is what I was talking about. Since we had a battle lore from the night page, we now have access to this, and we did not need to use a quickening slot to do it. So this is just part of the crazy strategy you can do with license boards. You need to be able to pay attention and see which, board unlocks what from what ability. Again, look at this. If we use it here, bam. And this is why I suggest if you can avoid it, make sure to wait until you have all the story espers. There's 5 story espers. It's Belias, Mateus, Bamfrit, Hashmal, and Chimhazai. So once you have all 5 of the story espers, then start looking at burning up quickenings and all that. Because again, you may miss some very potent something that may make or break your build. And once again, it doesn't truly matter because we had the infinite respec. And I keep bringing this up because I wanted to hammer home how important it is to pay attention to that infinite respec. Because you have no idea how, back when this game came out okay, so from what I remember, the original PS4 release was in 2017. Then it hit Steam in 2020, I believe. And at that point, I believe you could only reset your board once. Now, after a patch, which was around the time I think of the Switch release, bam, infinite respec. So now you are no longer constrained to, I guess I'll try this next time. No, experiment. That's one of the biggest tips I can ever give someone playing this game is to experiment. You have the ability to do it now versus now where you could end up wasting hours. And I do mean hours regrinding everything if you didn't have a save point before you started. And make sure to grab every single one of these. So now Ashe is effectively a paladin because she has access to white mage abilities, and she's got knight. And this is, and by paladin I mean more like a D&D paladin versus Final Fantasy one. Final Fantasy ones usually have some spells, but not white ones. You would think associate with paladin knight. Depending on the game, they didn't really have access to stuff like raise or Now, I believe in 1.14 they did have raise, and many a paladin was upset about that being removed. Anyway, for Penelo, remember what I said before. She's honestly your best caster, and I would suggest Time Battle Mage so she can buff as well as throw down damage, or Rep Battle Mage so you can have much more arcane power. There's also something you could consider with Fran because she and I was main black mage, and we went lazy on that. And if you want to cover if you want to cover every job with a unique combo, you can do that. So you can have two, either 6 people, and you can have 2, jobs per person. So you can have unique combos in order to diversify, and it's up to you. Again, like I said just a few minutes ago, experiment, experiment, experiment. When you're done experimenting, experiment some more. So for now, we're going to make her time battle mage. Because this means you can, on a save point, you can just have her spamming, spells on your main party, swap her out, and put your guy back in. Your preferred character back in. Oh, so by the way, I forgot to say something. When you select a new board, it automatically puts you on that board. You see, there's a lot of battle lords here. Also, note that the accessory 20. We got this from Black Mage, and if we decide to, instead of going over here, we have a quicker path to ribbon. Now, because of the heavy armor that Time Battle Mage gets, hey, you can make her less fragile and less worried about getting hit, which is normally a which is normally a weakness of caster characters in a Final Fantasy. And there we have that. Now that we're finally done with that. Oh, sorry, thinking. See. He is now, able to use healing, so update your gambits. Oh, did we not get her? Let me see. We may not have Cura yet. Let's see, where is our spells? Where are they? Ah. Yeah, so I kind of wasn't paying attention to that. So, update your spells. Make sure to get Cura. If you make someone white mage, get that Cura ASAP. Cura comes with the same, augment. It comes in the same augment as Raise, and both are incredibly vital. So, we're gonna get to this story scene real quick. Generally speaking, you should, wait. Sorry, not wait, but you should optimize certain. I guess optimize is the wrong word. You should pick certain spells over others. Please, somebody didn't. Oh, sorry. I had to, okay, I was like, oh no, don't go back. Sorry, I got distracted by my train of thought there. So this takes us back to the start. Now, before you move further, be aware this is about to advance the story heavily. And notice strong mist. Now, strong mist is usually an indication in the story that something is going on. In Bhujerba, it meant that the Imperial fleet was nearby and they were manipulating things so heavily in the mist that it was messing up stuff like teleport networks. This is the case here. We are about to meet the Imperials again, so save your game if you don't feel confident. And this is also a good spot to go back out and with 4 people to do trial mode to level up your boards. And that being said, we are going to stop here, and I'm probably going to do some trial mode in order just to level up the board. And it doesn't affect your XP, so remember, it is a safe spot if you just want to grind LP and in a controlled format. And by controlled, I mean you can force the spawns, and if you have a golden amulet like we do, you can speed level someone's LP gain that way. So we'll see you soon next VOD.